We hate being accused of something. We don't ever want to, and we talked about it last week, we don't like to take the blame. We hate being accused of something. I'm going to share with you a memory. Brother Dunny back there, Brandon Dunnigan, he knows that I'm not real good with electronics. And so back when I was in Weatherford, one day I preached a funeral at our church, and so I was wearing one of these lapel mics. And as I'm preaching that funeral sermon, we get done. It's a great funeral. It's a beautiful funeral, a wonderful lady, and we get finished with the sermon, and it's about 1:30 in the afternoon, and I am starving. And so I walked straight out of the auditorium. I walked into the kitchen, and good Baptist people have brought tons and tons of food that's sitting out on the tables, and I'm looking at all that food, and I am so hungry. So I'm looking at all that, and I'm thinking about my wife's one rule whenever you have a funeral dinner is that nobody eats before the family who's lost a loved one. That was her rule. But I'm sitting there starving, and there's nobody in the room but me. And so I'm looking over there, and I lift up this foil on this one dish, and there's some ribs that are sitting in this dish. And so I just reached down and I grabbed one of those ribs. I was just going to take one. And I walked into the kitchen and I was gnawing on that rib. And there's a lady in the kitchen that saw me. She says, if Bridget catches you, she's going to kill you. And so I was gnawing on that rib, just trying to get a little something to eat. And I was chewing on it. And all of a sudden, Bridget walked in the room, and I took that rib and I put it in my pocket. So as Bridget comes in, she's just talking, and this lady's over there just laughing and cracking up. And I'm just kind of standing over there. And Bridget, she realizes she's a great detective, and she realizes that there's something going on. So she starts to interrogate me. And she starts to interrogate that lady. And by interrogating the both of us, she gets down to the truth and finds out I've got a rib in my pocket. And she's there yelling at me, I don't even know why people let you go outside. Do you realize that you're going to get greasy spots on your pants? And I said, in my defense, these pants already have greasy spots on them, okay? So anyway, we're in the midst of this argument, and Brandon Dunnigan comes walking back there and says, Cris! I said, what? And he reaches down and he turns my microphone off. The whole church has been listening to that entire conversation. Now, guys, I was caught. I was guilty. I was caught greasy-handed. The lady in the kitchen knew. My wife busted me. And everybody in the church heard the evidence over it. Everybody in that little family. There's no wiggling my way out of it. I was guilty. But I want to tell you something. Jesus was not guilty of anything. And he was convicted and put to death for our crimes.